It's that time again. It's the podcast that takes your personal and professional life to a whole new level. Whether you're selling a product, selling a service, or selling yourself, one thing is for sure. You're always selling for life. All right, and welcome to another installment of the Selling for Life podcast, sponsored by Conequid Parts with Conequid Parts, a world of parts with a personal touch. There we go, I got it out. This podcast is about more than just selling stuff, more than about selling yourself. It's pretty good stuff if you stick around and you think you'll get a lot out of it. I'm Steve, and I'm joined by entrepreneur, church planter, and eccentric socialite, Al Alexander, and his business partner, Sunday school teacher, and baby maker, Ben Krentz. Hi, guys.
Whoop, whoop.
Hello, Steve.
Great to have you on board for the Thursday recording of the Selling for Life podcast. I'll ask you guys real quick, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing fabulous.
Okay. Ben?
I'm sending a text message to my wife.
Okay.
I like my intro better than Ben's intro.
Okay, good.
Except for the last part.
Yeah.
That baby maker part.
You got quite a few kids. So.
That'd be cool.
So you're doing all right. He does have 11 kids, though, so he's got you beat by quite a bit.
He's an overachiever.
He is an overachiever, right? You really had a good week, Al?
Yeah, it's been
Everything's
really
great,
relaxing.
right? Really relaxing, super. Everything's going really well. That's awesome.
Yeah, sometimes in the midst of chaos, there's peace.
Okay.
The eye of the storm.
Yeah? You got a little bit of a storm going?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's storm. Storms are just, they come in all shapes and sizes, right?
Absolutely.
So this is our 32nd episode of the Selling for Life podcast, and we are going to be talking today about results and getting things done and what they might mean to you guys. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. So that does bring us to the topic of the day, and the topic of the day is... I'm calling it 1 in a million. And let me start this segment off with a soundbite that Ben suggested.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
I'd say more like 1 out of a million.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah!
And that's from the Dumb and Dumber movie. And the reason why I played it is I was thinking today about 1 in a million, and there's so many things that go on in life, and it's a results-driven world, and a lot of times you're not necessarily seeing or think you're seeing the results that you want to see in life, but I think sometimes it has to do with perspective and what you're wanting to get out of life, and there's a lot of things that go on in your daily life where you actually affect things that you don't know you're affecting. In life, we will touch a lot of lives, probably more often than we even know. And often it seems like our efforts aren't making much of a difference. And keeping track with numbers and charts and focus groups is certainly important. Nell knows all about that. We talk about this a lot here at Conequid. When it comes to sales, having data and knowing where you stand is super important. But I'm going to play another soundbite from a movie, and let's see who can guess what movie this is from, and then this is kind of where this discussion is going to go.
I was remembering even the words of the original sports agent, my mentor, the late, great Dickie Fox, who said,
"The key to this business is personal relationships."
Suddenly it was all pretty clear. The answer was fewer clients, less money, more attention, caring for them, caring for ourselves.
Didn't he, after that, just say, "Show me the money"?
Close. It was soon after that, because soon after that mission statement that he released to his company, he got fired.
Yeah.
for even suggesting more better personal relationships and less money.
Right.
And in that movie, that company that he was working for was, of course, results driven, and results in money. But you guys have a very unique business here where I personally know that money is not the bottom line. It's much more than that. So how do you balance results with that personal aspect where you might not make as much money, but you might be affecting lives?
Really, what's important in life is your why. We talked about that a few weeks ago, a few podcasts ago. Why you do something, what's the reason behind it. I think that's what you're kind of suggesting. Though we use results, but I think we're realistic. I think we're always willing to try something. We're always willing to take the time and effort to see if it actually works. We're always willing to and caring to see how it affects either our customers or people around us or vendors we deal with. I think that self-awareness and how we fit into the world is important, whether we're like making waves or running over people, or I think everything that I just mentioned all comes from like my interest. I know Ben's interest in doing the right things. And, if I go to sleep at night, I don't want to stay up 1 minute longer than I'm supposed to, worrying about one thing that I did wrong or should have done if I, felt like I should have acted. So that's driven from like our spiritual side, I think, in a sense, knowing who we are in God's eyes. I just want to do my best for that aspect. I mean, it's nice to make money, and our growth in the last 10 years has been a lot better than most companies. We have counted everything. We have focused on results. We have focused on that, but we didn't do it in lieu of those things that we hold as higher principles or as more important. We try not to say, "Oh, it's just business. Oh, it's just business." Try to really take into account, like I said, how you affect every person you touch around you in a positive way, or influence them for something more important.
Now, if you have a sales guy here on the floor, and he has really good sales, and he's meeting and exceeding his expectations, and then all of a sudden you see his numbers drop off. Okay,
We fire him right away.
Okay, he's not doing so well. All right,
just joking.
What are some of the things that you will do to evaluate why those results aren't coming in anymore?
It wouldn't take a month or two for us to recognize it. We really try to keep a focus on the reps themselves individually. In a short window of time, we should be able to find something that is a little bit off. So we try to correct it even sooner than that. And
well, when you do, see something happening, what is your next course of action? I think is what Steve's wondering.
Yeah. I mean, do you just go to the results? Do you just go to the phone calls? Do you just figure out how many outgoing calls or incoming calls he's taking? Is that it? Is that all you'll look at when it comes to one of your employees here? If all of a sudden their sales just completely drop off?
Take into consideration that everybody's driven a little bit differently, that people's characters are also different. So some people might drop off with the ideas in mind that you just had mentioned. Phone calls are, call times a little less, they're taking a few less estimates and so forth like that. Typically they come in at 8:10 or 8:15. Now they're coming in at 8:30. So it could be something emotional that is going on with them, and it's not necessarily just like, I'm thinking of a different job and this. It could be something totally outside, non-work related as well.
And I think that works both ways, where the sales professionals here will also do the same with their clients and the people that are calling in and helping them, which is why we have the motto, "A world of parts with a personal touch."
Yeah, we set a certain precedence with how we act. I think even in your children, I think they are always looking for your integrity, that your actions meet your words, what they think you stand for. And then like anyone, so if you're an authority or you're an owner of something or you're leading or managing something, that's really more important that you follow through on your word and or act and speak the same. Talk about results, and if we've had success, and any success we've had to have been accelerated by all that, because I know like our business plan, and it takes a lot of intensity at each seat to get it going really well. For someone to put that kind of effort in for us as a team, we have to, try to help them through other parts of their life, because things at home are going to bring you down at work, and or whatever, vice versa even. So.
Right. Now, you realize the bottom line can be affected. You might not be able to turn as many sales around if you're spending as much time dealing with customers maybe that won't be spending as much money with you, but you're spending time with them on the phone and getting to know them, maybe dealing with, you can't be a psychologist on the phone with a customer, but certainly I remember being on the phones, and I would spend a good 15, 20 minutes talking to somebody because they had some things going on and they wanted to share a story or two. It did not help my bottom line in the initial stage, but I believe that helps in the long run. What do you think?
It certainly can. Everybody knows that sometimes you just need somebody to talk to, and the other person to just listen.
Yeah.
It is a big thing.
The idea of living out, we got 5 kind of core values that we work on: wisdom, diligence, humility, character, integrity, and they're kind of associated with our belief system here at Conequip. We are going to be diligent, but not just we're going to work hard. Diligence is kind of being aware of the things around you. How do you affect everyone? What's under your care?
And I think overall, when it comes to the kind of the theme of this, is that although the results, they may not be immediate, I think if you build all of that, you're not only going to have results down the line, but I think you're going to affect people. And that's the most important thing, is affecting lives. And then you will reach that 1 in a million that needs to be reached, and you'll have a positive effect on their life. So how can you put a dollar value on that is kind of the question. And then we have something I found off of LinkedIn. It's a results-driven and a process-driven way of looking at things. We often hear, I'm results-driven. We assume that is a good thing, unless you compare it to being process-driven. When can results-driven be a bad thing? And it gives some examples here, such as a situation too much obsolete and slow-moving inventory. Results-driven is to identify the obsolete and slow-moving items and write them off, whereas a process-driven approach is identify the root causes in the process causing obsolete and slow-moving inventory by observing, questioning, experimenting, and then implementing a countermeasure to improve the process. This is right up your alley, Al.
Sometimes we prepare, sometimes we improvise, but mainly what's going on is we got 16 balls in there,
right?
One on our nose. We're hopping one hacky sack style on our toes. You just got to do a lot of massive action.
Right.
Some people say, you're one notch from success, and that could be true, so why not do all of it?
Right. And don't lose sight of the fact that you're affecting really real people, and that you're wanting to, of course, have a effect on more than just 1 in a million. And you certainly will, I think, if you're approaching everything from the right standpoint.
Yeah, I think core values, basis of why we show up every day, and keeping that in every transaction, every interaction, inside and outside our building, even in our daily lives,
And as for this podcast, I was telling you we have about 15 or 20 downloads at the most a week. That just doesn't seem like very good results for a podcast, and they're really not. But, as we continue to do this, we're going to probably be reaching some people. And even if we just reach one person that's listening to the podcast and encourage them, then to me, that's a success. And keep doing it. I think the results will start to show even better improvements. So
you're a results-driven person, Steve?
Yes, ultimately I am. So I've contradicted my whole self. Well, Ben, you gave a great inspirational message the last time you were here. So why don't you top your head, something that's on your heart, whether it's results-driven related or not? What are you thinking?
I think we all need to sometimes just sit back, close your eyes, and think solely on the big picture. Because sometimes we're just extremely narrow-minded, narrow-focused on certain things that we forget what the big picture, what the ultimate result is.
Yep.
And it'll start honing us back in to hitting our goal.
Wow. That was loud.
That was deep.
All right, well, thanks a lot. You can check out our website at sellingforlife.com, and you can also contact us at sellingforlife.com. That's contact at sellingforlife.com. So, Ben, remember,
Yes?
whether you're selling motor scooters or you're trying to convince your boss that the podcast you're doing with 15 weekly downloads is truly worth doing, you're always selling for life.